Food's good. Minneapolis is known for their good food. A lot of very popular restaurants. We live right downtown. My wife and I do, and so yeah, that's kind of we try new ones all the time.
Okay. Biggest difference between college and pro ball, other than the faster arms, I guess.
Well, that's kind of given. I think you start to recognize that it really is a business, and in college you don't ever think about the business side. You just kind of play, and a lot of times it's easy to say that we just go out and play, but it's kind of also that's how you put food on the table, and that's kind of the biggest thing.
So, what did you learn from USM that I guess transferred over into the MLB lifestyle?
Well, a lot of different things. I'm telling you, when I was at my time at Southern Miss, that kind of made me who I am. With Coach Palmer and Coach Berry and a lot of others. One of the biggest things is Southern Miss is a blue-collar university. Twins, per se, is a kind of a blue-collar organization. And I think the way that kind of coincides together, how I carry myself up here and stuff, I learned a lot at Southern Miss.
Jack Duggan, pretty good guy too.
Yeah.
Old left-hander.
Joe Jack, he's awesome. Big Twins fan.
Oh yeah, he was
Huge Twins fan.
messaging me on Twitter about it.
I see him every off season from time to time up at the field, and he's done a lot for the university. And but I don't know if he misses a box score or a game, so he always lets me know how we're doing.
Have you kept up with Southern Miss this past season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Coach Berry and I are very, very close, and we kind of. I see him almost pretty much every day in off season. That's where I work out and stuff. So he keeps me updated. As long as Twitter, you kind of, it's very easy to keep up with stuff. So I definitely keep up with the guys, and it's also cool for me because that's where I work out in off season. That's where I hit, take my ground balls, lift weights, all that kind of stuff. So I get to know a lot of the guys pretty well, and it's always good to keep up with them, see how they're doing.
You got a couple of Southern Miss pitchers with Cleveland.
Yeah.
One of which is Nick Sandlin.
Yeah, absolutely.
May or may not face him in the future.
Yeah, well,
how nasty is he?
I'm telling you, he had a heck of a career. Obviously, a really good year, but a great career. And from what I've heard, when the draft was going on and stuff, that and I know the Twins were even trying to get him. They were high up on he was high up on their board. So when you got a guy that goes that high in the draft, but also throws from a different angle and can get people out, he'll probably be on the fast track, especially with Cleveland's bullpen and how it's kind of struggling, I guess.
So let's switch gears over to Twins. It's a contract year.
Yeah.
And now there's trade rumors going around now. How do you come to work every day? What's your approach to that?
Yeah, I've played this game long enough at this level that each and every year you hear your names floated out and all that kind of stuff. But number one, that means somebody wants you, and which is a really good thing at this level. But also, man, I know it's a cliche to say you just take one game at a time, but it really is. It's me and my wife talk about it all the time, but that's when our faith kicks in. And we know that wherever my guy upstairs wants us to be, we'll be. So we don't sweat it too much.
So if this were to be your last season with Minnesota, what just have you taken away from this organization and the city?
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I could keep playing here. You never know how it goes and with how free agency works and all that. But I do love it here. It's been home for me for the past 7 years at this level, 9 years altogether, dating back to 2009, and the fans are amazing. We play at one of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball. The city itself is probably one of the best, and so all in all, it's been home. So whatever happens, I know that this will always be home.
So in your time with the franchise, who have you, looked to, for guidance? Who has helped you along the way, just with the organization?
Yeah, there's been numerous amounts of people. My first few years, I played with a guy named Josh Willingham, who was kind of my mentor. He's from Florence, Alabama. Played with him for 3 years here. he's a guy that I kind of look to in a lot of different things, on and off the field. Justin Morneau, another guy that kind of took me under his wing my first 2 years playing. Joe Mauer, who's still over doing Joe Mauer things. He's been awesome to play with for the past 7 years. But I've been lucky enough to play for two great managers, one Rodden Gardenhire, and then obviously Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. So you mix those two guys in, and everything as far as people has been pretty dang good.
So to lighten the mood, how did the dingers start coming about in MLB? We were looking up your college stats.
Yeah.
16 home runs in
Right.
career, and now that's all you do now. What
What
changed?
I get that question all the time, especially from guys back home. I learned, not to say I didn't learn how to hit in college by any means, but I learned how to really create power when I was in AA with Tom Brunansky. We were out on a golf course playing together. He was my hitting coach, and he saw me hitting long drives and stuff, and he was wondering why that's not translating to the field. And sure enough, what it ended up being, long story short, that I was unlocking my hips and driving my back leg into my front side so good in golf, but I wasn't doing the same thing in baseball. So we left the golf course, we went straight to the cage, and ever since then, that was kind of the turning point, how to create power.
So what you're saying is, if you want to hit home runs, learn how to play golf. Is that what you're telling me?
That is. I didn't say those balls were going straight now, but they were going maybe a long way.
Lastly, All-Star break's coming up.
Yeah.
Plans for that?
Yeah, we try to do something different all the time, my wife and I. And this year we're going down to our fishing camp right south of New Orleans. We're going to fly into New Orleans and drive about an hour south of New Orleans, right on the water.
Where in New Orleans?
It's right south of New Orleans, called Grand Isle, Louisiana.
I'm from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Yeah, my wife's from New Orleans, or Mandeville. You probably know where that's at. So yeah, we're going to do that Monday morning, stay a few nights down there, and see how many redfish we can catch, and maybe drink a cold one or two.